Welcome to the most listened to golf in the world, the Fairways of Life show, on air, online, and around the world, with the most candid interviews, unforgettable stories, taking you beyond the ropes. Here's your host, New York Times best-selling author Matt Adams.
Welcome into the Fairways of Life show, folks. Absolute delight to have your company on this Tuesday. So we've got a lot to go through with you today. We have a major champion coming up on the program today. We want to talk about a number of different things, not the least of which is what's the mindset of a major champion. We're on the verge of the major season of 2024. What does it take? Who could it be? Here's a look at the majors on the men's side of the game. Of course, the Masters, the 8th through the 14th. The PGA Championship will be at Valhalla. The U.S. Open back at Pinehurst number 2 in June. And then the Open at Royal Troon. So really looking forward to getting into that. So yesterday, we had a huge response from all of you about the question of who will be the next first-time major champion. And after we got done, I'll give you just an example of some of the things that came through. This is a note that came through to me. This was from Norm. He said, just a note to pass along to Dom. Sam Burns has played in 14 majors, made the cut in just 8, and his best finish is a tie for 20th. Not a promising look for his pick for the next guy to break through. And he did a little emoji with the wink. So with that, Dominic, with the response that we've had, and I don't actually think Sam Burns was all that bad a pick because he's, 8th in putting, if I remember correctly. Where do you stand right now? How restless a night was it when you heard back from all the people?
It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. And it got me thinking about how exciting this topic is. And so I got a bunch of graphics, and I got a lot of thoughts, and I want your thoughts, and we're going to discuss this. I know we got an amazing guest coming up who can probably help answer some of our questions. But for now, let's speculate. Andrew, put the first graphic up. So what I did is I put together a pretty heavy-duty list, all right? This is the first graphic. We're going to have a second graphic with an additional 8. Matt, when you look at this list, what do you think?
Well, based on what you said yesterday, right, the question was yesterday, if I remember correctly, it was, who do you think is going to be the next first-time winner of a major? And you had Xander, you had Patrick Cantlay, and you had Max Homa, then you had an other, if I remember correctly. And then you had a write-in, and everyone was writing in for Victor Hovland at a high percentage. Is my recollection correct on all of that?
Yes, it is.
All right.
That's correct.
And so,
and then you and I made picks, our own picks. We threw out some. Now, I had not done my typical full-blown producer research. So I selected Sam Burns, and we put this up on the screen that Andrew and I had collected yesterday before the show, and here are my thoughts about why, and I really think he's the next guy, and here's why I think that. And then I went through it all. I spent some time. We collected some data, and today's question of the day is, Dom has changed his pick. Would you like to change yours? So I have changed my pick, Matt, and this is my new pick,
Are you
Tom
kidding
Kim.
me?
I've changed my pick. Here's the new pick, all right? Let me read what you see on the screen, okay? It's bananas. Tom Kim is still only 21 years old. He already has 12 professional wins. Already. 3 of those are on the PGA Tour. Big boy stuff. He won when he was on the Asian Tour at only 17. He's still inside the top 20 in the world. Also, last year, 2023, was his first full season on the PGA Tour. 27 starts. In his first full season, essentially at 20 years old, he made 22 of 27 cuts and was 19th on tour in strokes gained total. And you can see there at the bottom, he's got a little bit of team experience. Additionally, he had 2 top 10s in majors last year. Tied for 8th at the U.S. Open, tied for 2nd at the Open Championship. I changed my pick.
Would you put Dominic back up on that split screen so we can go through the reality of what take place here? So not only are you telling us that you changed your pick.
I take a sip of this when I'm not on camera, and now you put me on camera.
Right. But not
Screw
only
me
are you
over.
telling us that you changed your pick, but you've cast
did.
yourself as a victim of circumstance in terms of how
Yeah.
you chose Sam Burns to begin with. And now with a much more sober mind, you're saying you've decided that it's going to be Tom Kim.
Yeah. Well, that's just my pick.
Hold on a second.
But Andrew, put the
Sam,
second page
Sam
up.
Burns
of
is
contenders.
online too. Could you put Sam Burns on with Dom, please?
Yeah, there you go. So here's another collection of 8 guys. We've given you their age. Also interesting and important to note, when we write professional wins, that is not PGA Tour wins. Because a lot of these guys have won on the Korn Ferry Tour. In the case of Joaquin Niemann, he's won on the Live Tour. Some of these guys have won on tours all over the world. So I think a professional win is a professional win, and there's tremendous value in that. And so that's why I just listed it as professional wins. And then we have, obviously, of course, the top 10s that they've had in major championships and how they've done in majors. Now, there's a couple things I want to note, Matt, that I just want to point out to you that surprised me when I was going through them. The first is on the page you're looking at. Of the 16 guys that I went through, because the previous graphic and this graphic, Ricky Fowler is the oldest of the group. That surprised the hell out of me. I thought it would be Tommy Fleetwood. I thought Tommy Fleetwood was old. I knew Max Homa was in his mid-30s. You know, I know Terrell Hatton was old. Not old. It's all relative, obviously. But I did not think Ricky Fowler was the oldest. Also, interesting to note, you can see there next to Ricky Fowler's name, he has the most top 10s in major championships out of the entire group. Also something that I didn't expect. That surprised me. And now, Andrew, go to the other one. Switch back to the other graphic. On this graphic, Matt, first of all, you can see why I picked Tom Kim, right? He's got the most wins, most professional wins of everybody in the group. He's also the youngest of the entire group. I thought it might be Ludwig, or I was like, I feel like Victor Hovland's still pretty young. But these guys are mostly in their mid-20s. Tom Kim is 21 years old. Additionally, with Ludwig, look at this. 0 starts in majors.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing in the Masters coming up. That will actually be his first major start. It's interesting that he's on this list. Only 24. He's number 11 in the world. He's never even played in a major. But somehow we have him on this list. And I think he belongs on this list as a potential major champion this year. And then, so, Andrew, go to camera 2 with Matt and bring in the other graphic that I was telling you about with the, yeah, that's the one. I put this list together, Matt, and I'm curious what you think about this list. And I think our next guest is going to be a great guy to answer this list. They're your qualities. That's what's required to win a major. Read those off and tell me if you agree.
If for those on the radio side, mental strength, clutch factor, putting prowess, I know those two are very closely aligned, ball striking, distance, and recent form. Now, the only thing, the one change that I would make would be total distance versus just distance, just raw distance. There are majors, like what we saw with Bryson do at Winged Foot. There are times that you can overcome a golf course with distance, but it's rare, particularly in a major. By the way, as this conversation goes, one of my brothers, my brother Bob, just wrote in and he said, Cameron Young for him, then Victor. So the conversation is going on in all quarters everywhere. The only thing I could say to Cameron Young was I was with Cameron Young. I was doing the on-course play-by-play for the World Radio last year at the Open. And I was with him for his final 36 holes. And with all due respect to Brian Harmon, who won because he did what he had to do, Cameron Young should have won that event by multiple strokes. You could make an argument as high as like 10 strokes. He had so many birdie opportunities, he couldn't get the ball in the hole. He was just snake bit that week. So for Cameron Young, for me personally, I just need to see more performance on the greens in these crucial situations such as major championships. All right, but let's go back to Dom's recasting of reality here. And let's talk about Tom Kim for a second, right? Go ahead, throw that graphic you have up there, Andrew, about Tom Kim and where he stands. We heard all the PR that Dom's throwing there, 21 years old, 12 pro wins. Yeah, I mean, I like Tom Kim. I'm just what I'm saying is this, and this is what you did yesterday when you were promoting Sam Burns, and I don't know who you're going to promote tomorrow, because when you tell us that Tom Kim was 19th in strokes gained putting in 2023. That's great. That was a great performance in 2023. But then you just showed us a chart you put together on current form. Tom Kim, current form, strokes gained total, is 99th.
Matt, there's been like 3 tournaments.
No disrespect. The tournaments? All right, let's go down that road. Tom Kim, Century, tied for 45th. American Express, cut. AT&T Pebble Beach, Pro-Am, tied for 31st. Waste Management, WM, not Waste Management, WM Phoenix Open, put a quarter in the jar. Tied for 17th. Genesis Invitational, tied for 24th. Trending? Maybe? Strokes gained total, 99. Strokes gained off the tee, 96. Strokes gained putting, critical at Augusta National. He's 155th, Dom. Driving distance, he's 106th. Driving accuracy, he's 86th. So not only is he right now short by comparison to his peers, but he's crooked. And when he gets it on the green, he's not even close to average in making a putt. His club head speed, he's ranked 150th.
Your job just to trash my pick.
No. What I'm waiting for is...
This is not what this is about.
No. What I'm waiting for is, when are you going to cast yourself as a victim now and go, you know what? I made a mistake. I looked at last year's numbers.
Oh, come on.
So you're resolute, Tom Kim.
Sam Burns should be high on this list.
Yes.
Ted says, Kim is possible. Tom Kim is possible. John says, Hovland needs to get his game going quick if he's going to grab a major this year.
All right, let me
Sepp
see what...
Straka is a sleeper, they write. Andrew, is Sepp on this list? Is he on the second page?
Yeah, he's on the second page, lower left.
Yeah, put it up there, Andrew. He's 30. He's got 3 wins and 2 major top 10s. For whatever that's worth. I also
now, look,
have
the next major.
Out. I have some honorable mentions. Andrew, put the honorable mentions up there. Kurt Kitayama. These guys didn't make the list, but they're like just barely off the list.
Okay.
Kurt Kitayama, Emiliano Grillo, Sahith Theegala, Adrian Marunk, Min-Woo Lee, which I like that, by the way. I like that Min-Woo Lee option.
Lee too.
And then Taylor Gooch. And you can see there, this is a totally separate discussion, but you can see next to Taylor Gooch, it says 449. That is his current world ranking.
Yeah, which means you got to straighten
out.
out.
I got to be honest, that makes no sense. So
yeah,
it's clearly not correct, but
yeah, that's got to get worked out too. All right, so because the Masters obviously is our next major, and everybody's going crazy about Hovland. Let me see where Hovland is. With Victor, it's a really small sample, but I'm going to say right now, currently, because the fact that the PGA Tour season starts in January again. Strokes gained tee to green, Victor Hovland is 132nd ranked on tour. Strokes gained approach to green, 144. Strokes gained around the green. We're talking about the first major at Augusta National, note. He's 167th. Total driving, 91st. Driving distance is good, 47th. Driving accuracy is 140th. So, Victor, I do believe that Victor Hovland has what it takes. But right now, his form is not the best. So Dom kept asking me, before we went on the air, he asked me 100 times, are you going to change your pick? And I said, Dom, here's the way I did it yesterday. You told us that you had essentially 4 guys, because I went to him and said, what's your question of the day? And he said, who's going to be the next first-time winner of a major, right? And again, Xander, Cantlay, Homa, telling me the right-in was Victor Hovland. So I stayed away from those 4 because I thought that was the rules.
Yeah, but I'm the producer.
No.
I make the rules. I also change the rules.
Yes, on the fly. So
to my benefit.
I picked Joaquin Niemann, and I did it because of current form. His last 6 starts, he had a 3rd, 30th, a win, 4th, wins at the Australian Open, 5th at the Australian PGA. He's got current form. He's only 25 years old. Right? So I'm going to stay with Joaquin because he was my pick. If I thought, depending on Dom's moving target of rules, that I could pick anybody, I would have picked Xander Schauffele as the pick.
Andrew,
all right, so Dom,
the first one. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, he's putting up the chart. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all good. All right,
hard
so
to
here's the
argue.
thing. Given this conversation, given the reaction, and given the public scoring that you were subject to, what is today's question of the day? Where did you go?
Today's question is, Dom has changed his pick for the next first-time major winner. Would you like to change yours?
You've got to be kidding.
And right now, it's 90% no. And if you recall, yesterday, a majority of the people said the next first-time major winner would be Victor Hovland.
Right.
Now, Andrew, put that list of the qualities of what it takes to win your first major back up on the screen. Because, Matt, our next guest coming up is going to be able to answer this question for you. All these questions will be answered for you by our next guest. And I love the idea of going down the road of what does it take to get over that hump? And is there value in showing up big time at a Ryder Cup like Max Homa, right? So Max Homa maybe doesn't have 10 years of playing a major championship experience, but showing up big time at a major under that at a Ryder Cup under that crucible, is that what it takes? Is that what you need to cross over?
All right,
There's a lot of layers
we'll
to
go
this.
down that list with our very next guest. Now, I will say this. If we're going to talk about current form and we're going to talk about attributes for Augusta National, I'll throw a couple names at you that I don't think's on any of the lists so far. Recently a winner on the PGA Tour, Matthew Pavone, is number 3 in strokes gained putting. Other highly ranked players in strokes gained putting that are showing good form flashes: Justin Suh and Eric Cole. A couple more names just to throw into the mix. I'm sure this is a conversation that we can continue for some time as we march closer and closer to the first major of the year on the men's side of the game. And our next guest knows exactly what that's all about. A major champion will be joining us on the other side of this break. The Fairways of Life show is presented by the PGA Tour Superstore. They are the #1 golf retailer from coast to coast with their big, beautiful stores. But more so than that, I think it is their people that make the difference. Shop with the pros at your happy place.
Easy now. Find your happy place. It's all in the hips. Just tap it in. Yes!
Find the latest clubs and apparel at golf's happy place, the PGA Tour Superstore.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous Parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
It screams. It tracks. It's soft. It reacts. It is the Bridgestone Tour B with a game-changing reactive cover designed to spring faster off your driver and stick longer to your wedges. Try Bridgestone's Tour Bs, the Tour Ball reinvented.
The Gen 6 iron is a culmination of everything that we have learned as a team, the absolute best golf club I've ever hit. It's something special. Say hello to the new PXG Gen 6 iron. The longest, most accurate irons we've ever made. They go higher and farther than any iron that I have hit to date, and they're so easy to hit. Super excited for the consumer to try this. They're gonna love them.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Baseball? Nah. Football? Done it. I think I'm gonna go after the PGA Tour.
Bo, you're gonna need the right equipment company.
I think I got that.
You know, Tour Edge backs all their clubs with a lifetime warranty.
I know.
They ship all their premium custom clubs in 48 hours.
I know.
All their premium clubs are hand-built in the USA.
I know.
You know, Tour Edge has won 35 times out here.
Guys, I know.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com. Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show, folks. Pleasure to have your company. Mark Calcavecchia, a major champion, 29 professional wins amongst his efforts over the years, 13 PGA Tour titles to his credit, 4 PGA Tour Champions wins along the way. He won the 1989 Open at Royal Troon. 4 times he represented the United States at the Ryder Cup in 87, 89, 91, and 2002. He was on the 1998 United States President's Cup team. He had 762 starts on the PGA Tour, resulting in 27 runner-up finishes and 142 top 10s, 250 PGA Tour champion starts with 51 top 10s to his credit there. Total, 1,012 total starts in 193 top 10s for Mark Calcavecchia. And Calc, I can see on my preview screen that's making you smile, but something tells me somewhere in your body you're feeling every one of those starts.
Yeah, I can definitely feel it. That's for sure. Great being with you guys, and yeah, I've been around a while, but I'm not done yet. Getting ready to go out and play some more on the Champions Tour, and been playing pretty good at home. So let's just see if I can bring it to the tournaments.
I love it. All right, so in the last segment, because I could see in our studio here that you were hooking up and getting ready to come on with us. We were talking about attributes of a major champion. So, Andrew, let's find that graphic, put that up on the screen so we can let Calc discuss, are there particular attributes for a major champion, whether we're talking about a particular major individually or whether we're talking about attributes of a major champion at large. You can see them on there. Take it as you please.
I think it's a combination of both, depending on which major you're talking about. Right off the bat at the Masters, Brendan and I are going this year, and the last name you mentioned, I was waiting for it, is Eric Cole. I play a lot with him at Tequesta Country Club, and we're going to go up and watch him this year, along with several other members from Tequesta. So it'll be a lot of fun, but he's going to be licking his chops. He hasn't played it yet, but when he sees that course, he hits a high draw, and he can sling it, on holes like 10 and 13. A lot of holes you don't need to really hook it much, but 2. And his short game is world class. Chipping, bunker game, and he's a fantastic putter as well. So I think he'll do really well there. But then you look at a tournament like the Open, where weather could be a big factor. So there you have guys that need to play well in cold weather and rain and whatnot. U.S. Open, you better have your driver going in the right direction. So I think each major kind of PGA, sometimes they get a lot of rough there as well. Each major, I think brings out different parts of all these great players' games.
All right, so Calc, let me reel back the years here for a second. I want to go back to Masters final round, 1988, back 9. Sandy Lyle fails to birdie 13 and 15. You birdie 13. And you take the individual lead on the back 9 in the final round of that Masters. At that point, do you recall what your emotions were, what was going through your mind?
It was the conditions were pretty tough that year. We weren't shooting very low. I think I was only 6 under at the time, and I think Sandy finished at 7 under when he birdied the last hole to win. So it was a tough week. Pars were good. And, I was trying to get another birdie, but I figured as long as I kept making pars, I'd be in pretty good shape. And that's kind of what happened the last 4 or 5 holes. I made a couple of nice par putts on 16 and 17 and from 5 feet and a good chip from short of the green on 18. So, I I don't think about Sandy Lyle too often, but every April I do. I can tell you that. It would have been nice to have a green jacket hanging in my closet, but he hit one of the greatest shots out of that fairway bunker on 18 in major, he Masters or any major history really. And to make the putt on top of it was something else.
Yeah, to hit the 7-iron out of that bunker and have it come back to the hole the way it did is mind-blowing. But I'm interested what your mind was like at that time. You were clearly one of the top players in the world. You were knocking on the door everywhere all the time, constantly. I remember you and Kenny Green kind of owned the PGA Tour back in those days. But at that point, did you believe or were you even conscious of the fact of going through the process and thinking ahead of saying, my gosh, I might be on the verge of winning the Masters? Or were you such a honed competitor by that time that your mind was only on what you needed to do next and thinking about, like you said, I need to make a birdie somewhere?
Yeah, in '88, because it was only my second Masters, I was like, this would be cool to win this tournament, but if I don't, and I thought this way afterwards, I'm going to have another 20 opportunities, so I'll get a green jacket one of these days. And of course, it didn't work out that time. But when I did start thinking about it was I birdied the first hole in 2001 to tie for the lead on Sunday, and then I started thinking about if they had a green jacket big enough to fit me. And that kind of unraveled me the rest of that day. And I was playing well too. I was really confident and was sure I was going to, have a good chance to win it coming down the stretch, but didn't work out. I still had a good tournament. I think I tied for fourth, but yeah, that year is when I really thought about slipping that green jacket on myself.
It's an age-old question, isn't it? This idea of, is the best player in the world seemingly of like a Jack Nicklaus mindset that has complete and total cognitive control of the situation, where he is, what he needs to do? Or are you better to be a person that has it completely and totally turned off in your mind and everything is on autopilot? Where would you fall?
I think when it comes to events like that, it's the guys like Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods, their greatness. When you believe you can do it and you're better than everybody else, I think that has a lot to do with winning majors. It's hard to be a first-time major winner. In '89, when I won the Open, I was just playing well and super confident, and even then, I got a couple super lucky breaks. Obviously, flying the chip in the hole on 12, and then having Wayne Grady make a few bogeys for me on the par threes in the back nine. So. And then I was able to get it done in the playoff. But a lot has to go right to win a major and to be a first-time major winner especially.
Yeah, well, hold that thought on the 89 Open because I want to get into it with you some detail. When we're talking about Jack Nicklaus, if memory serves me, growing up, you were playing in South Florida, you were playing against Jackie a lot. Am I correct on that?
Correct. He was one of the first kids I met when I got down to North Palm Beach in the summer of 1973. We played a lot of junior golf together, and then, of course, 4 years of high school together, different high schools. But, we played matches against each other all the time.
So how much was the occasions that you had to be around his father, the legend, Jack Nicklaus, important in your career? What imprint did that put on Mark Calcavecchia?
Oh, he was, he's my golfing idol, always has been, always will be. The way that he treated me back in the 73 all through high school, he came to watch a lot of our matches if he was home, and to have Jack Nicklaus watching you play golf, and then when it's done, say super nice things to you. I really like your game, Mark. Blah blah blah. I think you've got a bright future. All these things. Well, he was just always so nice and complimentary to me, and that that built my confidence a lot. I was able to win quite a few junior tournaments and have a good junior career. And Jack Nicklaus's niceness and confidence in me had a lot to do with that.
Very cool stuff. Mark Calcavecchia is our guest. We will continue our conversation on the other side of this as the Fairways of Life show continues on this Tuesday.
Relax. Easy now. Find your happy place. It's all in the hips. Just tap it in.
Yes!
Find the latest clubs and apparel at Golf's Happy Place, the PGA Tour Superstore.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
It screams. It tracks. It's soft. It reacts. It is the Bridgestone Tour B with a game-changing reactive cover designed to spring faster off your driver and stick longer to your wedges. Try Bridgestone's Tour Bs, the Tour Ball reinvented.
The Gen 6 iron is a culmination of everything that we have learned as a team, the absolute best golf club I've ever hit. It's something special. Say hello to the new PXG Gen 6 iron. The longest, most accurate irons we've ever made. They go higher and farther than any iron that I have hit to date, and they're so easy to hit. Super excited for the consumer to try this. They're gonna love them.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Baseball? Nah. Football? Done it. I think I'm gonna go after the PGA Tour.
Bo, you're gonna need the right equipment company.
I think I got that.
You know Tour Edge backs all their clubs with a lifetime warranty.
I know.
They ship all their premium custom clubs in 48 hours.
I know.
All their premium clubs are hand-built in the USA.
I know.
You know Tour Edge has won 35 times out here.
Guys, I know.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com. Zero Friction introduces the Wheel Pro Pushcart Golf Bag with its revolutionary 3-in-1 design, supportive legs that spring into action, a comfort grip handle with 3 locking positions, accessories for the modern golfer enhanced by 7 pockets for more storage, and removable all-terrain wheels which slide right into place. The new Zero Friction Wheel Pro Golf Bag checks every box for every golfer. Push, carry, or cart. The decision is yours thanks to Zero Friction. Head to ZeroFriction.com today. Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show. Matt Adams here with you. Andrew and Dom are behind the glass. Our guest is 1989 Open champion Mark Calcavecchia. Calc, I got to ask you something, and our discussion board is going crazy. If you guys want to be a part of it, go to the Fairways of Life YouTube channel. You're a Gator, aren't you? Didn't you graduate from the University of Florida?
Well, I was a little short of graduating. I was on at least a 5-year plan, somewhere between 5 and 8, and made it 3. So I did. I am a Gator. I assume you see this Buckeye sweatshirt I got on. Hey,
yeah, it's making people go crazy.
In my closet. Well, Brenda's a Buckeye. I'm guilty by association, but luckily for me, I never liked Michigan, so it wasn't hard to jump on the Buckeye bandwagon.
Oh, dude, you are making so many friends right now. I can assure you about that. Hey, I want to ask you about something. When you see Scotty Scheffler swing, and you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
How much do you see Mark Calcavecchia in that? Talk to us about his golf swing and yours.
Yep. Pretty similar, really. A lot of people forgot I had the right foot slide. Not as I was never as fast, obviously, or hit it as far as Scotty does, or swung that hard. So that's why his foot kind of keeps going. and it's a lot of it's got to do with clearing your left side really hard, and then your right foot just kind of goes back, and that's what Scotty does so well. But I mean, I've literally seen him nearly fall over where his right foot ends up on the other side of his left foot, which mine never did, or Greg Norman for that matter. He also had the sliding right foot, but I don't think anybody hits it as good as Scotty Scheffler. So whatever he's doing is pretty dang good.
Do you feel like in your personal game, Calc, that you were fortunate in that not only did you have the solid ball striking and accuracy, and all I have to do is look at what you did in Phoenix over the years, look at what you did, for example, in the final round. We're going to talk about it at the Open. You shot 64, 8 under that final day to put you in a position to win, which you did in that playoff. But you possessed both the brawn that you needed to do what you did in your era at the height of your prowess, but you also had touch with that putter.
Right. And my short game and my ability to hit flop shots and, short-sided chip shots, bunker shots, whatever, I think that had a lot to do with me being so aggressive and being able to fire at flags that a lot of guys didn't, because I wasn't afraid to short side myself, whether it be just left of the green or just right of the green or whatever. And I was confident I could get it up and down. So that really enabled me to mentally just say, what the heck, I'm going right at this flag when a lot of guys wouldn't have. So, I think my short game in my prime was, and at times it's still really good. It's streaky now. It's always been a little streaky. It's more streaky now. But when I was playing my best golf in the late 80s and early 90s, I could get it up and down from anywhere.
But you were continuing to be a part of the mix. You talk about it yourself in the early 2000s at the Masters, just as one example, and being able to win events. What was it about, do you think, your game that allowed you to have such longevity?
I never got that far off. I was lucky enough to, in the early, 1984, start working with Peter Costas. And back then, before Metalwoods, everybody hit a hook. And I could hit it plenty far. So that's when we decided to kind of get me to hit a fade and get a metal wood with 7 degrees loft and a really stiff shaft that was virtually impossible to hook. You could pull it, but you couldn't really hook it and keep it in the air. So I think from that point on, 10 years working with Peter and also working with Butch Harmon for 10 or 12 years, it was just easy to not get that far off with their help. And I think that's, tee to green, I was never lost, so to speak. And I think that's kind of what really enabled me to keep playing fairly consistently well for several years in a row.
What about putter loyalty? Did you stick with the same blade or did you switch around?
I used the ping answer most of my career. Or an answer 2 was what I used in Phoenix when I shot 28 under. And then from that point on, I kind of started switching around a lot. And I was telling Eric Cole this the other day. In Pro-Ams on Wednesdays, I never used my gamer. I used another putter because I didn't want to waste making a bunch of putts in the Pro-Am, if that makes any sense. So, or if I got like 5 or 6 or 7 under in the Pro-Am, I'd tell my caddy, I'm going to hit one on the water here, or I'm gonna make blow this first putt 20 feet by or something and make a few bogeys so I didn't shoot too low in the Pro-Ams. But all us golfers are crazy. We get to thinking like that where you don't want to go too low in the Pro-Am or make too many putts on Wednesday and save them up for the tournament.
All right, so it's got to be a shrine somewhere. Where do you have the putter from Royal Troon? What wall is that up on?
Well, here's a tragic story for you. I do not have that putter. I have every other putter that I won a tournament with on a club rack. And back in the early 90s, I guess it was, my first wife, I had 2 bags of clubs, my putters, my good ones and my kind of donated ones or giveaway for for auctions or charities or whatever. And she says, somebody wants a putter or whatever. I said, okay, fine. Go to the bag with the crappy putters in it. And she went to the wrong bag. And the one that she picked out had a weld mark on the bottom of it. And that's the putter I won the Open with. It was a ping answer. but it had a weld mark on the bottom. So if anybody's listening to this and they got an old ping answer with a weld mark on the bottom of it, can I have it back, please?
Oh my
So,
gosh.
Yeah. So off it went. And I
So
haven't seen
somebody
it
wanted
since.
like a charity event, like we got this used putter, you guys.
Exactly. Yeah, no idea that it won the Open at Royal Troon in '89. So,
and I did note,
crazy
just
story.
not to be cruel, but I noted that you said it was my first wife, so now we understand what happened.
Right. Yeah, things weren't so good after that.
The 1989 Open at Royal Troon. Before we get into the details, I just want to ask you about Royal Troon itself, the character of the golf course, the philosophy that one has to have when you're playing it. What are your thoughts about Royal Troon?
Well, when I first got there, the weather was beautiful all week. It was 70 degrees, probably not more than a 15-mile-an-hour wind. And my first practice round was Mark O'Meara and I took on Curtis Strange and Arnold Palmer. So my first look at Royal Troon was playing with those three guys and the king, Arnie. So, and I made a putt on the last hole in the practice round to take like 50 pounds off of him. And he was, Arnie didn't like to lose no matter what it was. So but that was my first look at Royal Troon, and I knew I loved it. I think I played 9 Tuesday, 9 Wednesday, and I was ready to go. And again, it was a perfect week of weather. So it wasn't like, we all had to battle super tough conditions, but still the scores, we only, the playoff was at 13 under. It wasn't super duper low. So, the golf course held up, and it's rare you find a course where you really like every single hole in the course. And I do at Royal Troon.
You went crazy in that final round, an 8 under 64, which was, I believe it was the course record, if memory serves me.
No, that was Norman that went crazy. He birdied the first 6 holes.
Correct.
I shot 71, 68, 68, 68. So, yeah, and then in the playoff, Norman birdied the first 2 holes again, and I was like, man, this guy's making he's 10 under through 20 holes.
No,
on
thank
Sunday.
you for correcting me. Did
Yeah,
you know, though?
no problem.
Calc, did you know that it was going to be a 4-hole aggregate playoff at that point, or where was your mind? Because this was the first one. Were you aware at that time?
I had no idea because, at the start of the week, you're not worried about what the playoff hole is going to be. Once right up until Wayne Grady didn't birdie 18, he had a little chip from the back of the green and made par. And then I asked the R&A official, I said, I assume we're going back to 18. I had no idea. He says, no, we're going to 1. And 1's the easiest hole in the course. It's a driver and a 60-yard little L wedge shot with just a couple of little bunkers out there. And I said, well, that's a strange hole for a sudden death playoff. He says, no, we're playing 1, 2, 17, 18. So I said, oh, thank God. And it was a relief because anything can happen in sudden death on 1 hole. So I thought, oh, this is great. I got 4 holes to, do something and hopefully come out on top. And that's kind of the way it worked out.
All right. So you correct me that Greg Norman goes crazy in that final round. And then you noted that in the first 2 holes of the playoff, he went birdie. There's only 4 holes. So if I may, take us through what happened with you and with Wayne and with Greg in those 4 holes.
All right. Well, Greg birdied the first hole from about 10 feet. Wayne and I parred. The second hole, I kind of thinned a 9-iron because, the fairways were dead. It was really hard to hit it super solid to the back edge, about 30 feet past the hole. I don't remember what Wayne did, but I know he made par. And then Greg hit it in there about 12 feet again. But I putted first and made my 30-footer.
Oh.
And then Greg poured his 12-footer in. So he was, that's what I'm thinking. Is he going to birdie every hole on me out here or what? So he was 2 under. I was 1 under, and Wayne Grady was even. So then we go over to 17, a long par 3. And Greg steps up and just roasts this 3-iron. Beautiful shot. Right in the middle of the green, but it went just over. I hit a 3-iron on the green, and Wayne Grady hit it in the bunker. Now here's where what I couldn't believe my eyes at. Greg was literally 5 feet over the green, but there was no grass there, but there was one weed in front of, about a foot in front of him, dead in his line, but it was a tall, skinny weed, and I think he pulled out a 7-iron, and I whacked my caddy on the shoulders. I said, can you believe he's chipping this? I would have putted it every single day of my life. I would have putted it from there. And he chipped it about 10 feet by. Wayne had a super hard bunker shot, hit it 20 feet by. I hit my 30-footer tap in. Wayne missed and Greg missed. So now we're both 1 under and Wayne's 1 over. And so on 18 in regulation, I hit a really good drive, not my all-time best, and I was only about 4 yards short of that bunker called the coffin bunker. And then Greg got up and just blistered one. And I was watching. I was on the left side of the tee, and I was watching it. And I thought to myself, if this kicks a little right, it was a solid fade right down the middle. If this kicks a little right, it might catch the corner of that bunker. And it kicked right. And he was already 20 yards off the tee, and it kept rolling and rolling and rolling. And back then, my eyes were good. And I saw it catch the corner of that little bunker. And I'm like, oh, that's dead. He's going to have to chip out. And then, I hit a bad drive because I was afraid of hitting it in that bunker. So I kind of hit this fan drive out to the right, 201 yards from the hole, but I had a good lie in the rough and just hit the 5-iron of my life. It looked like it was about 3 feet from back there, but it was about 7 feet short. And that's when Greg decided he needed to try to do something heroic and get it out of that bunker as far up there as he could. And then he hit it in the cross bunker, and then he hit that one in the clubhouse, and that was essentially it. So at that point, I knew I could 3-putt from 7 feet and win the Open. But my only thought, and I've never had this thought before that or since, don't double hit it. If you watch the replay, I kind of short stroked it and recoiled a little bit. It barely got to the front edge and fell in. And again, my wacky brain comes up with these things, but that was it. And then the next thing, I don't even remember what I said in the speech. No recollection of that. The next thing I really remember was riding back to the hotel in Ayr. It was called the British Caledonian with the claret jug in my lap, and my caddy sitting next to me, and we just started laughing and said, what the heck just happened? And that was it. Amazing.
When did the realization of what just happened settle in? How did winning a major championship, or did it change Mark Calcavecchia?
Well, the next morning, of course, I was in coach back there holding the claret jug, and the captain came back to me and congratulated me and says, "We can't have our Open champion sitting back here in coach." So so that was the first perk. He brought me up to first class. So that was fun, but. It was a great couple of weeks in my life. Went back to Phoenix, which is where I was living at the time, and my wife was due with. We didn't know she was a girl. We didn't know, but she was a girl, and she was born 2 weeks late. So she was born Tuesday of the PGA that was at Kemper Lakes. So we named her Brittany, Brett for short. And that's how she got her name from me winning the Open. So that's pretty cool.
It is so cool. Calc, it is great catching up with you. Thank you very, very much for giving us as much time as you did today and sharing some of these memories and talking about major champions. You mentioned at the start that you're going to get out there and play some. When can we expect to see you next?
Next week in Tucson. I'm going to play the next. Our next 3 tournaments are out west. We play at La Paloma, a new course in Tucson, which I played and I like. Then a week off, so we'll go out to Phoenix, and we're gonna drive our bus out there actually. So we're kind of packing up this week and getting ready to hit the road out west. So we'll take 4 days to get out to Tucson, and then hang with my daughter and son-in-law and my new grandbaby out in Phoenix for a week.
Oh, congrats!
And then the next tournament's in Newport Beach, California, and the one after that's in Palm Springs.
Great,
so
looking forward to it.
It'll be a nice little West Coast swing, and then we'll drive on back east.
That's awesome, man. We're very much looking forward to seeing you out there again. Again, thank you for your time. We wish you the best.
You got it, Matt. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. All right, folks, more of the Fairways of Life show coming up right after this. And before we wrap up today, I definitely want to check back in with Dom and see what the thoughts of all of you are in terms of the question of the day and more. Stay with us.
I guess hello world, huh?
And with one subtle hello, Tiger began an amazing and unthinkable career.
I've done it for 20 years now with Bridgestone. It allows me to play an aggressive style around the greens, and it's allowed me to win a lot of tournaments.
Bridgestone Golf, proud to be part of your journey.
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com.
I think when you're training for other sports, or why most people go to the gym is so that they can have muscles and be strong and be healthy. And a lot of the reason why they struggle to play golf is their body doesn't move properly for them to be able to hit a golf ball. And when you're training for golf, it's a little bit different because you're focused more on flexibility and mobility and being strong in motion. When you're able to kind of have a warm up and have a workout routine and kind of gradually build up to where you're training your body to move properly, yeah, you're going to get a lot of big dividends on the golf course.
Easy now. Find your happy place. It's all in the hips. Just tap it in. Yes!
Find the latest clubs and apparel at Golf's Happy Place, the PGA Tour Superstore.
What if we started a company and the company was under no time constraints, no financial constraints? The one constraint is their clubs had to be exceptional performers and much better than any other alternative. I was told time and again it'll never work. It worked like a house of fire. And I'll tell you what, I think our customers love it. BXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Order yours and save. Visit zerofriction.com/stride or scan the QR code to order yours today. Stride, your personal caddy.
Wrapping up the show on a Tuesday, folks. Thank you so much for your company as ever. Calc was amazing. How about the story about his putter? I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily...
What is that about?
Yeah, it's not necessarily, Hogan's one iron, but still, it's a very distinctive club. It won a major. And he said it had a weld mark on the sole. So if you won a putter, a ping answer putter back in the day, I don't know when, but sometime in the last, 35 years, and it has a weld mark on the sole, at least send a photo of it off to Calc or send it to us, and we'll send it to him if you want. We'll figure out if we can make this mystery come back together again. Is that amazing? He gave away his putter? Incredible. All right, Dom, so what are you hearing right now? Remind everybody what the question of the day was, how we got to it, where we stand.
I just can't stop thinking about some hacker who's got no appreciation just wielding that putter and the local par 3, just smashing it into the green, getting all upset how bad he is using Calc's putter. That's terrible.
He probably isn't even using it anymore. It's probably in a bin someplace. He's like, yeah, that thing's no good. Can't do anything with
broken. It. I can't do anything with it. That's right. Dom has changed his pick for the next first-time major winner. Would you like to change yours? No. 90%, say the people.
Oh, so stayed at 90%. Rightfully so.
Andrew, put some of the graphics up. Put
and
up the first group of 8.
How did you like that the first thing that Mark Calcavecchia says is, yeah, Eric Cole is a really good pick. He didn't even call it a sleeper pick. He was just like, yeah, that's a really good pick right there.
So some of the stuff coming in, I forgot about Aberg.
No comment?
Auberg. I always say it wrong. How do you say it? You seem to know how to say it. Auberg?
Well, that's because Daniel Chopra, who's Swedish, I can't say it the way he says it, but Ludwig told everybody because the pronunciations were just brutal. He just said, just call it me Oberg. But Daniel told me that the correct way There's a word for you. Corrector.
Corrector?
The corrector way is to say Alberg. So it's like almost like an AU. Alberg.
So, Alberg. I forgot Alberg, Michael says. He'll win one before too long. After watching Burns on day one at the Ryder Cup, I'm not so sure about that. Hovland isn't playing strong right now. These are folks commenting on our topic, which you can see right there that we've been talking about. We only have about 2 minutes left. I would love to. Zalatoris has best majors form over the last few years, but he has been struggling with that injury. And remember, he's sort of changed his putting style, although he's kind of started playing again, which is great.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Cantlay must be due, they say. Neiman, someone writes in Neiman. There's a lot of people talking about Hovland here. So with about 90 seconds left, Matt, Andrew, can you put up the what it takes to win a major graphic? The little floater that we had. So what I took away from Calc, and I know we only have about a minute left, but what I took away from Calc when I looked at that is it seemed to me that he was kind of intimating that first thing on that list, mental strength, is the just full stop separator in major championships. So with only a minute left, Matt, I would ask of you, of the names that we went through, do you think you could identify who you believe has the best mental strength of the group?
All right, so pull up the first graphic, if you would, Andrew. We'll go graphic 1, graphic 2 in the seconds we have left. And Dom, in my earpiece, you keep me honest on the time. On this page, in terms of mental strength, I like Victor Hovland. I like Max Homa. I like Ludwig, but he's young. Terrell Hatton can come from behind. Page 2. Again, I like Sam Burns because he's doing great in putting. Outside of that, I'm going to go Zalatoris. But if I'm going to go dark horses, I'm going to say Siwoo Kim and Eric Cole going into the first major. Plenty of time to keep this conversation going, folks. Again, thank you for your company today. It was awesome. We'll be back again tomorrow. Till then, bye for now.